At the design studio. Today we're going live in the public group for our Wreath of the Month group because there's been a huge ton of updates on the Apple phone. I'm sure you guys have seen or heard about the Apple, iOS 18 updates. So rather than deal with all the drama and that, we're bringing this live to you today because I'm going to take Friday off as well. So you're getting an extra tutorial. You're not losing one, you're just gaining one. So, couple housekeeping items. I was like trying to think of where my whole thought process was. If you want to save a copy of this video and you're on Facebook, just click the share button down below. It'll do a copy paste from my page to your page, and then you have your tutorial handy. If you are on YouTube, just click the save button once you're signed into your account, and you'll be able to keep a copy of this video. Now, if you want to turn live notifications on and you're on Facebook, because that's where we're doing the live, is on Facebook. YouTube right now does not have the ability for me to download a copy of my video. Like if I went live on YouTube, I don't have the ability to go in and actually save a copy of that and then transfer it over to Facebook. And at this time, I don't have dual cameras to launch a live both in YouTube and on Facebook. So we're going to try to figure that one out going into the remainder of 2024 so that we can go live in both groups. We just have to figure out the logistics because our internet is not like people who live in the big city where you have Wi-Fi, you have hardlined internet, where everything is off of satellite for us. So that's how rural we are. I think there's only like 450 people who live in our city. So shows you how small things are here. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Things that are coming up. If you have not subscribed to my email newsletter, you are missing out on all the things that are going to happen as of Black Friday. The Black Friday specials, the things that you'll be able to take advantage of, the things that we're doing. And I don't have the wreath, but I'll show it to you before we go live, or before we end. The wreath that we're giving away on Friday to our rewards group members. So I'll give you all the information about that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pivot you down. I'm going to cover all the materials, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So bear with me as we pivot right down to the bottom. So you should get a pretty good view. Our theme today is black and white. Let me make sure I can read your comments, because for the last couple of days I've even had problems reading comments. Hi Charlotte, hi Jeannie, I'm seeing them. Elizabeth says you're live. So yes, this is a swap from Friday. So we won't be doing a Friday, we'll be doing today instead. Let me go ahead and pin all the information down. All the stuff that's going to be huge savings for you if you've been holding out on joining my group or making a purchase from my shop, wait till Black Friday and then shop my website. So if you want deeper discounts, go there. If you are just feeling more comfortable going over to Etsy, you're welcome to do that as well. There we go. Comments are pinned. Hi, Joan. I thought I would throw this one out there so you don't have to stay up late. So black and white is our theme. We're using this sign, which is, it's a 10 by 10. 10 by 10 welcome sign. You can get this from a craft outlet if they still have any left. This has been popular. Whenever I make the wreaths, they sell. So we're just kind of sticking it out with a different not so much color combination, just different types of product to work with. We're going to be using a black and white. This is a jute burlap, which I was able to cut with a wood burning tool. Shocking, I know it sounds, but I cranked up my wood burning tool as high as it can go. And let's see, how high does this go? Let me look. I want to say 500. 450. So this one only goes as high as 450. So I'm pushing this one up I was able to, by doing it slowly, get it all the way through, which is nice. So we should have minimal fraying, if any. So you can get that deco mesh. No, I did them myself though. I found a new color. I found pumpkin orange. I forget what the color of this is. I'm feeling a little bit rusty, I think is what it's called. It's Opie nail polish. So feeling festive for fall and for Thanksgiving. Let's look at the ribbons because you're going to love this ribbon combination. Look at these. So these are new this year. 2.5 inch. They had this fleur-de-lis that popped out, I want to say, not last year, but the year before, and it came in a gray, and it came in an orange for Halloween. And so now it's available in black and white. So I thought, why not elevate this and use a higher quality ribbon? And then also, this is called Curls and Swirls. It is a black and white, on white ribbon, 1.5 inch. We are pairing that with our black and white Swiss dot, our 2.5 inch, a little bit bigger polka dots for this. By the way, all the ribbons, basically everything that I'm putting together came from Craft Outlet. We're doing a white stripe with a gingham black and white edge, and then we're doing this fun argyle pattern. So those are the ribbons for this, all from Craft Outlet, everything but the frame. So the frame is a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. We are going to be doing a ruffle base because our sign is quite large, 10 by 10 plus a gorgeous bow that's going to go on here. So like I said, we were able to cut this with the wood burning tool, and I'm just going to pull this towards me. We're going to do the inside 6 first. So I'm going to go ahead and place this right to the inside. We're going to give it a couple twists, and then we're going to remove the leftovers with our wire cutters. I think this is what's going on my Christmas list this year. I want a small pair of wire cutters. I have really nice big ones, but for simple things like just trimming the pipe cleaners off, I don't feel like hauling out the big boys, which is for stuff that is a little bit more challenging. You can tell that this is my end-to-end piece. So we are placing these against the curl, face side down, right to the center. So I always try when I am ruffling or scrunching my deco mesh up, I'm doing it in about 1/2 inch pleats, and I try right where I'm gathering, that is the center that I plop that down in. Okay. Alrighty. Steve was out running errands, Elizabeth. He's not here. He should be here shortly. We are running out of deer corn because we had a party. I think we had a party of 12 this morning. It's a little on the cold, chilly side, so the babies are all, they know where to get a free meal. Let's just say that. So all the babies came, or most of the babies. And then we had our new buck, which I have named Thor because he just looks so mean. He came by this morning, and of course when he shows up, everybody leaves. So I was just thinking this morning, because I was doing my study, and I was like, man, the life of a buck is pretty boring. They don't like hang out with the herd of deer. That's mostly does and their babies, and bucks are pretty much all, they're isolated, they're lonely. Because I was watching him walk off by himself today, and I was like, man, how lonely is that? You know, he gets to hang out with them, but nobody likes to hang out with them. So, there is that. Still have not seen my deer that we raised this year. Not raised. he was very nice. He was very friendly. And he has not been back since hunting season opened in October. Have not seen him at all. And I can tell it would be him because he didn't, this year he kind of had stunted antler growth. So I was thinking, oh, that's a good thing. His antlers didn't grow out, so he might make it through if hunters think that he is a doe. But I don't think so. But the two other younger bugs he used to hang out with, they are here. Elizabeth asks, are you going live this afternoon for the new Bible study? Absolutely. So if you guys are interested, we are doing a Bible study based on the Chosen series. And we're starting off in season 1. So it's taking all the stuff. I think it's 8 lessons. It might be 9. And there are 8 episodes to season 1. And they kind of use a lot of the stuff that you see. It's kind of nice because it's a free video tutorial, per se. And we're going to be deep diving into the characters of Simon, who was later named Peter, Matthew, the tax collector, Mary of Magdalene, and who else? There's one other one. Why can I not think of that? Can't remember. And I should have. Matthew. There's somebody else, and I cannot remember. Oh, and I can see what I was writing down on that page. I can't remember. But there's 4 characters that we're going to deep dive on in this study. So if you're interested, go to Kat's Creations Bible study group and just request to join. It's free. And you can join us. We're going to do it every Wednesday at 4 until we finish. So I think it's about 9 sessions. So now I'm doing the outside 12. I finished the inside 6, and that shows you how well this Deco mesh covers because that's just 6 pieces. Now we're going to triple this by adding double the pieces. So we did 6, now we're going to add 12. Is that right? Or double? Hi, Jean. Welcome. I know. Those ribbons, Joan, are so gorgeous. I absolutely love them. I can't wait to see what this is going to look like with those on. So I'm doing just the next one method, which means whatever, or no, I'm not. I'm doing inside and then outside. We did next one yesterday, or last night. So, because I am connecting the right side of my left side section, this one doesn't have a middle. So the ones that we've laid in right now are our middles. So I want to make sure that as I'm transitioning into each of those sections, that I kind of take the Deco mesh that I've laid in before and put a little bit above and a little bit below to give it some good coverage. And we're just going to plop this one down right on top. So now we have basically put a left and right piece. Not in the sections, but they're next to each other. So in this section, I just placed the left. Now I have the center. This white one down here would be the right side of that section. So you're going to see this get even more deeper, more darker colored. And it should hopefully remove any transparency that we can see, even though there's very little. So I'm going to plop this one down right over the top. And I just give it like 2 complete twists just to make sure that's in. And then I take the Deco mesh piece that I've placed inside. I fold the corners down because that's where it's likely to fray. That's where it was cut. And doing the same on the opposite side. Grabbing my next pipe cleaner. This one's kind of traveled a little bit, so it's not quite as snug on that rail. And sometimes when you are placing your pipe cleaners, even though we're placing them on 2 rings, sometimes they're not evenly spaced when they weld them. Sometimes it's fatter on one side and it gets narrower towards the weld, and that will cause your pipe cleaners to slide, but it's okay. Once you get them in and situated, they should stop their movement. She says, this is Joan. Funnily enough, those colors are our rival soccer team colors. Oh, you are red and white here in Sunderland, but I love what you're doing. Yeah, black and white, for some reason, is just really popular for the everyday wreaths. And I don't think, kind of looking around, I don't think I have any more everyday wreaths. Most of the welcomes sell out because, like I said, if you're gifting this to someone at Christmas, more than likely they probably already have their Christmas gift up or their Christmas wreath up. So if you gifted them a Christmas wreath, they'll have to use it next year. Or if it's a winter, they can probably put it up, and then that would be good. But most of the time, people have already picked out what they're doing for Christmas. So the everyday welcomes are very popular as gifts because those can go up right when the holidays end. And I'm making sure that I got all the comments. So, I am so glad, Joan, that you were able to join early. And I think, I don't know, I want to start going earlier. Fridays at 5 are just not turning out what I thought it would be. That was like my really popular time slot for a long time. And then I changed when we moved up here, and I started to do an early afternoon, and then even that time slot is just weird. It's just weird how you can have consistency in your times and you don't really have consistencies in people showing up during those time frames. So, go figure now. Hi, Pamela. Welcome. Did you get the link that I sent you for the discount document for it as a private group member? You should have all the codes to shop all the places in that document. So you can actually follow, go to whichever shop you want, add things to your cart, and then make sure you use the discount code to get the discount to apply. You like early in winter? What do you mean, Elizabeth? Like putting up a wreath? Ooh, that's what I gotta do. I have my fall wreath on my mailbox, and we've already changed everything. Not everything, but for the most part, we've already put up our Christmas lights and my garage sconce wreaths, and I just haven't gone all out with that. But as I was driving into our property last night, I saw the mailbox swag, and I'm like, we need to change that out. So I'm just switching this out with I think I'm going to do the peppermint candy because they last. The only thing I ever have to replace on it is anything that has glitter on it, like glitter peppermint balls or glitter candies. I just pull them off and re-glue new ones on. So it's kind of been a bit of an experiment trying to figure out. Time when you go live, 4 p.m. is 5 p.m. your time. I know, Elizabeth, and you're in Arizona, so you're on the no daylight savings time. So I'm sure that time frame is a little weird. Okay. Pamela says, not yet. I'm bad with the internet. So just let me know if you're struggling anywhere. But you should be able to click on that document, open it, and then you'll see it has like lists of suppliers and their code and how much you get off if you shop at their locations. That is just one of the benefits to being a private group member is I have secured discounts with companies like Pam's, which is where I get the majority of my signs from. So Personalize It by Pam, Jane's Front Door Decor, 3 Birds Nests. Trying to think of who else. Crinkle Designs for all of the Wreath supplies. And there's a couple others because I always try to find, you know, different suppliers that are like, okay, they have greenery, whereas this company does not sell greenery. So we'll add them to the group. PNW Wreaths and Things, which does wreath attachments. You guys have discounts with her. So if you guys are interested in joining, here's my last piece. Just go to the link I pinned at the bottom. Right now you can sign up. This is my early Black Friday special. You can sign up on the monthly for $1. You can try it for 2 weeks. If you like it, you don't have to do anything. It will automatically start to bill you at the monthly rate. And you can find out all that information on the website, or you can opt to go and join yearly and save $154 right now, all the way through Black or Cyber Monday. So there is that available. So now I'm just going to pull my pipe cleaners because we're going to use these. I'm going to leave them on, and we're going to add the black and white scatters and fillers just to give it some visual interest. Okay, so there's that. Here's our ribbon combinations. We're going to go ahead and put these in. So these are the pairings. So we're going to take that swirls and curls and pair that with the 2.5-inch black and white polka dot. The 2.5-inch ribbon are cut to 14-inch pieces, the 1.5 to 19 for half bows. And then we're going to be pairing that fleur-de-lis with the black and white Swiss dot. So those are the ribbon combinations. And so we're going to put the polka dot with the white swirls with the white pipe cleaners. So we're going to start by laying in the 2.5-inch ribbon tail. So I fold that in half so that it tells me where the true center of that ribbon is. I'm going to lay this right inside on this pipe cleaner. And I'm going to fan that out. I like to always fan my ribbon tails outward. It draws the eye outward. It radiates. Whatever's in the center, it just kind of, your eyes go to the outward ends. So now I'm taking my dovetailed ends, bringing those together on the 1.5-inch ribbon, going up about 2 inches. We're squishing in. We're going to take that, lay that right in the center of the pipe cleaner. We're going to give it a couple extra twists. Then I'm going to open the loop, and then we're going to right side one end, and then we're going to pull it so that you can see both ribbons together. Now I'm going to cut my pipe cleaner off at about 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to pair that with a black and white scatters and fillers. The white is from Hobby Lobby. The black is from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to start by putting a small bead of glue on this. I'm going to go ahead and push it because it's just a styrofoam ball, through the end of my wired pipe cleaner. And then this will make sure those little balls don't fall off. So just like that, we have the very first one. I'm trying to make sure my glue threads disappear as well. So this is what it looks like, just like this. So that's the combo. And now we're going to go in and add that fleur-de-lis, folding it in half, going straight up the center, placing this right in the center of the black pipe cleaner, flaring those out, taking our Swiss dot, same thing, wire edges together, go up about 2 inches, I kid you not, 2 inches from here to where it's pinched, place that right in the center, couple extra twists. I like to always give them a couple extra because I don't know how it happens, but in the past, occasionally some of them would come loose. And it just might be that my husband, who's left-handed, who would help me, would twist some of them in one direction, and I would come back and twist them in the opposite. So I haven't had any come off since then, but I am erring on the side of caution. So we're kind of doing a twofer, and this is the extent of our embellishment. So we're just going to add a bow to this one with our sign, and that should end this one. Let me snip this off. I had the end of my wire just fold. It didn't want to go in. Oops, and once it's folded, it just did not want to work. So now we are good there. So this is your combination you will see all the way through the wreath. Now I wish I could go. And it was instantly done, but no, that's not the way it works. All right, Janie, she said, gotta go. Safe Thanksgiving. You too. I pray for those of you that are traveling on Thanksgiving that you arrive with no hassles, no mechanical issues, no weather delays, no unforeseen circumstances that would cause you stress, that you arrive safely to spend time with family or friends. We are staying home, and our kids, which live in California and Oklahoma, will be staying home. My daughter works in the medical field, so she'll be working along with our son-in-law. And then our youngest, with our grandbaby, obviously, he's still too young to travel. And with everything going around right now, I'm like, nope, just stay home. We'll plan a FaceTime call and just enjoy each other's company that way for now. Okay. So there's that one. What do you guys think of adding the little filler balls to the end? These have several names. They're either called vase fillers, even though they're just glitter balls. Sometimes they're called scatters and fillers. I love this ribbon combination. Should have bought more of the fleur-de-lis, just because it's definitely an elevated color, an elevated look as well. Okay, couple extra twists, open our loop, right side. For me, it's always the left. Just the way I put them in. We'll cut down the extra off of our pipe cleaners. Grab our styrofoam balls. And I'm always placing the white ball to the left and the black ball to the right, keeping that consistent look all throughout the design. And then just making sure everything is nice and pretty before I move on. And it's kind of interesting because in the sign there is a touch of sagey green. So you could come in and add some lamb's ear. You could add some eucalyptus. You can add some black and white flowers. But I am choosing to ignore the green and just stick with the black and white. It's just a very elegant sign. Nicodemus was the other person. It just came to me. So deep dive into the story of Matthew the tax collector, Nicodemus, Mary Magdalene, and Simon, who would later be called Peter. That's what season 1 is predominantly about, is establishing their stories. So what I like about The Chosen is they do take some liberties in understanding how their characters are going to evolve to a certain point. And so they create circumstances for them so that you understand the motivation, for example, of why Thomas would later become Doubting Thomas, even though he had spent those 3 years with Jesus. So I think I've only deep dived into the first 2 lessons, and I was utterly blown away by the things that I'd missed in watching the story and learning more about the research that went into these characters. So it's a great study for us. And I never understood the importance about Bible study until I started doing them. I was thinking, I read my Bible. I don't need to go to a study. Oh my. The things that God reveals to you personally when you show up. It's just mind-blowing. Okay. You like the filler balls? Those are like a very inexpensive way of, some people are like, well, pipe cleaners are cheap. I'd rather use a wreath frame. Well, I look at it this way. If I can keep my materials costs low, then I can price my wreaths lower. Not that they're any less quality, because I choose to find an alternative that is more cost effective, and I can still make them look great. Pam said she's working on one of my rag wreath tutorials. I need to do that. I want to do one for Christmas. Like one for Christmas or one that could go year round, because I add them to our photo wall. And I bought all this material to do that, and I just haven't done it. Oh, Joan, she says it's 8:19 currently in the UK, and I'm totally under the weather with a flu and a chest cough. Oh, you poor thing. I'm old and have not had the flu jab yet. You're needle phobic. well, I don't get them either. So, and I'm good so far. And yes, we do have a tendency of venturing out. We don't stay home. We're out and about doing all the things. But I'm hoping, toss this one. I'm not looking forward to what happens in the retail industry right after Thanksgiving/Black Friday, because people get crazy. And I just like quiet. Hi, Arvina. Let me roll these up. Grandchildren are awesome. Joan says, I have 3 and each have 3 children. So you have a step-grandson. Love them all so much. And they live within 10 miles of you. But your step-grandson lives over 600 miles away. So you don't see him as much as the others. I understand that. Thank you, Joan, for sending stars. That was very sweet of you. So if you guys have ever wondered what those stars are, it's kind of like a way, and we're going to do this more in 2025. We used to do it all the time. We would take whatever money was donated to us in stars, and we would fund different things. For example, we've done Thanksgiving for families in need. Like, we support a family in need at Thanksgiving. And so we will, in 2025, go back to doing that, where we will match dollar for dollar everything that we get. And we will have new fundraisers every month. My favorite is in the month of, I think it's July or August. I don't know if you guys remember this, but the Scholastic book fairs, where kids would come home with those little paper inserts of like books that they could get that were like really inexpensive. Well, a teacher reached out and shared a story that while some kids are able to do that no problem, her goal was making sure that every child could benefit. So we supported her classroom one year with making sure that each child got 6 books each, regardless of their finances, so that nobody had to deal with not being able to have a book. Because I'm a huge book lover. Because you are so sweet, Kat, and I love what you do for charity. It's a small amount, but every little bit helps, in your opinion. I agree. You know, sometimes we think that we have to do the big things. Like, we have to contribute the big amounts. So when people might ask for help with a vet bill to help, you know, vet expense came up unexpected, and you're like, well, really, all I can do is like $5. You sometimes fail to think if every single person who saw that message donated $5, that problem would be done. And so God just asked us to show up with our 5 and 2, with our 5 loaves of bread and the 2 fish, and let him figure out the multiplying. All we have to do is show up in faith. So sometimes we don't act because we think it's not enough. So I appreciate that, Joan. So that's what we're going to be using stars for. I think we'll start, like I said, in 2025. And you will know ahead of time what those are for. And if you want to donate, that's what that money goes for. Pam, you're doing a Christmas rag wreath with cardinals. It's your first time doing it. It's becoming a bit of challenge with the design in which the birds are laying on the fabric. Don't you hate that? When things just don't line up the way you want them to? I can't wait to see it. I hope you'll come back to the group and share photos and let us see. Lee says, I went to the Wreath of the Month group, saw your message that you were on the public site. I won't be creating today as I am way late. But you know what though, Lee? You can see what this design will turn out. It's just going to be super simple. just black and white. And you might choose, this is what I found sometimes watching other people's tutorials, is that it gives you the insight to see what those colors and combinations look like. And if you don't like them, you can always change them when you make yours. Good. And Pam says she will come back to the group and share her picture, because I would love to see that. 2 more sets and then we'll be done. Joan says, I donate a lot of my craft stuff to our local school, often cash for my craft stash on days when they have school fairs. That's so awesome. I love that. I know we're going to try to get more involved with our local community. Like I said, it's a very, very small community. I think, honestly, it's a lot of folks that are retired. Like, I remember when we first moved here, we went to a community meeting, which was nice, meeting all of our neighbors that live around us. And thankfully, that led to some great friendships, which allowed us to travel to Oklahoma because our friends watched over our property and fed the chickens and all this stuff. Oh, okay. So Lisa, she was going to decorate the black and white house wreath. That's the Home Sweet Home sign. It's house shaped and it says Home Sweet Home. She was going to do that on hers, which is absolutely gorgeous. And you've got nice ribbons to do that with this year. I'm loving this new print. Trying to make sure I keep these on the same white on the left. You've sorted all your craft stuff and stash. Nearly all of it, Joan. Right? I love this ribbon too, Lee. This is all new ribbon this year. Not the black and white Swiss dust, but like this really nice fleur-de-lis glitter pattern. And then that curl and swirl one. The other ones, the polka dots and the gingham and the argyle, I've seen in the past. Matter of fact, I didn't even open the black and white Swiss dot that I ordered because I already had a couple rolls of it already open, which is nice because that just means I have a whole nother roll that I can use later. It's really good for pet wreaths. Like if you're doing a dog, the polka dots are really cute with that. Last scatter and filler going on. So it's just a time saver to put the glue on rather than poke the pipe cleaner through and then pull it out and then put the glue in. I found if you just put the glue there and then just push your pipe cleaner in, you can see how gorgeous this looks. Now look, when I come back in and we add that sign, it's going to be a gorgeous wreath. And you can see how big that wreath is. If we tried to insert scatters and fillers or greenery and florals around that, where would we put them? It'd be a little tough. So we're just going to create a bow for it. And we will attach our sign, attach our bow, and we'll be good to go. So let's determine placement of all of them. Let's see. I tried to mix them to where we had 3 rolls of white with black and then 3 rolls of black with white. And so I kind of like this to be on the end. So we need black. So I think I'm going to go argyle. Then we'll go this, that, and that. That is going to be our color pattern. The order we're going to lay those into the Bodabra. Like I said, they all came from Craft Outlet. I'm using the Bodabra, which has this slit that goes down the center. And so that is what I use when I lay it here to where I can line this up with the 10-inch line. And then as I stretch my ribbon out, I can see where 8 inches are, 10 or 9 and 10 inches are. It's just easier for me. So we're going to start with a dovetail, which is just taking your wired edges, you bring them together, and you're always going to start cutting on the folded side down to this wired point. And that's going to give you a gorgeous look. Now, the deeper the V, like if I start it right here, I have a very shallow V on my ribbon. I like them a little deeper than that. So that just means that you come up higher on your fold, but your destination point is always the same. And so now I have a little bit of a deeper V. So we are going to put this on our 0, go all the way to the 10-inch line, and you're going to gather. You're going to twist, and then you're going to place that right inside your bow dabber. Right side fabric facing up for your tail. We're just going to flip this around. We're going to twist and lay that back in. I'm going to line this crack up on the 10-inch line so that when I stretch out my ribbon, I want to make sure that I'm at 5.5 inches. So that is right here. And then I want to do that on the other side. So always lining it up, verifying my lengths, and then I'm going to add my tail length out here at 10 inches. And then I'm going to do the same dovetail, folded side, wired point, and we've got our first one done. One and done. Okay, that one is in this ribbon. It's got like those little painted on pieces, so sometimes it doesn't want to allow my pin to go in. Now we're going to take that fleur-de-lis, same thing, wired edges together, create the dovetail end, folded side, wired point. This one's going to be 9.5 inches. We're going to gather this in. We're going to twist, place this right on the inside. Same thing, we're going to kind of guesstimate where 5 inches might look. We're going to bring it back to the 10-inch line. I'm going to stretch this out, and I'm almost exactly at the other. So I need to pull that back. So I'm right at 5 inches. Do the same on the other side. Line this up, stretch it out, make sure it ends at 5 inches, and then stretch this one out. We're going with 9.5 and dovetailing the end. Holy, I have so many to catch up on. I still haven't done all the Wreath of the Month kits and still have all the supplies for one of the dog wreaths you did. I just sold the dog wreath, actually. Joan says, I have a new box of cardstock I have not used or opened until I was sorting out last week. 500, it looks like A4 mixed cardstock I forgot about and don't use now. Our local 4 to 11-year-old school is self-supporting now. So we as a community help where we can to get the kids the best they can supply with the help of parents and other family members. I think that's amazing. Thank you for that, Joan. Because I would bet that those kids are so appreciative. They don't understand that, you know, supplies cost, and they just think it's part of what you get when you go to school. But that's wonderful that you're able to help out. This one we're going is 9 inches in. And we're going to do 4.5-inch loops. So we're doing the same process, always bringing it back, stretching it out, making sure it's level. Same thing. Stretching it out. I need to make sure I'm right at that line. There we go. And then make sure this one comes out and ends at 9 inches. So this is ribbon 3. This will be a 6-ribbon bow. Okay, I was like, where did I put my pins? I need to go get another box of pins. I have them, they're sitting on the shelf. I just need to grab them. Okay. Now we are going to add in this gingham, black and white. It's always crazy that they sometimes will fold over so many of, like, they'll take a good chunk of, you know, a portion of your ribbon. Like this one was 3 inches of ribbon to do a fold. Sometimes you can get it out. I don't have my iron on. You can basically just take a hot iron and iron that crease out. So dovetail this one. This is going to be 8.5 inches. Gather, twist, place this one inside. So we're getting an even mix of black and white, black and white. And because I've already measured the bottom, I'm going to put my fingers in both loops and then pull on the top one, because we're doing 4.5 inches for the 2 middle. And this is just a recipe that I came up with, that when I've used it consistently, I know exactly how big of a bow it's going to yield. It uses very little ribbon in a ribbon roll. I mean, if you have about 2 feet, almost 3 feet of ribbon left, you can generally utilize that into some form to save that last little bit to add into your ribbon. Because by the time we get to the very, very top, we're really using very little. So this one is 8-inch tail, and it's going to be 4-inch loop. So 8-inch tail, pinch and twist. And then we're going to measure off 4 inches for the loop length. Do the same on the other side. And we're right there. Back out 8 inches. Put the dovetail end in there. And that one's done. And so this last one, I'm going to tell you exactly how much ribbon you would need to fully use that ribbon in it. So when you think about it, it's 7.5 inches for our tail length for this one, and then 3.5 inches for the loop. So 7.5 and 7.5 for the left and right tails is 15 inches. And then you have 3.5 inches the loop if you measure the top, and then you've got 3.5 that goes to the side. So that would be like 7 and 7, which is 14. So as long as you have 29 inches of ribbon left on any roll, you can use that in a bow to get to the very top part of the ribbon. And then you would just add a little bit more as we're doing 4 inches or 8 inches or whatever you want to do. So this is 7.5 inches for our tail. And we're going to do 3.5 inches for our loops, which is the smallest I generally do. And a little bit more. And then Over here, same thing. Measure 3.5. That one's almost 4. And then back out 7.5. Trim that, dovetail it, and all of the ribbons are currently stacked and ready for us to fluff into a gorgeous 6-ribbon bow. Now, if you like this recipe, you can actually go to my website, pinned below, KatsCreationsNMore.com. Go all the way down to the bottom. Sign up for the email list. I will send you a copy, or you can actually just go, I think it's about halfway down the page. It'll say like, want the bow recipe formula, and it's a super cute PDF that you can download. It looks like it's on a recipe card, and it tells you this exact layout for the bow, and it comes with a tutorial for free just by signing up or just visiting the website. So I'm going to do white pipe cleaner, and I'm just going to compress all the loops as I take them out. Drop this down. I like pipe cleaners because it gives me an advantage to hold this in, just like that. Especially as we get older, our hand strength leaves. So this one's going to be an upper bow, I believe. So I'm just going to take my metal C-hook. It's about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. I'm going to just stick that right here on my bow dabber. Let me show you. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this one a little bit better. Okay. It's just around that C-hook. It just prevents my ribbon from sliding off the board. So I'm going to turn it slightly sideways. And we are going to separate. Let's go to the top a little bit. Trying to get it where you can see the whole thing without all the other stuff. This is the top. This is the bottom. Our pipe cleaner's in the middle. Whatever we do on the top, we do opposite on the bottom. So we're going to start with the very bottom ribbon. Tail to the right, loop to the left. We're going to go to the other side. We're going to find that same ribbon, and we're going opposite, which means the tail's going to go to the left and the loop to the right. This way the loops are opposite, the tails are opposite. And so we're going to bring down our next row of ribbon. This time we're going opposites. So the tail's going to go to the right, or the loop's going to the right. Tail is going to the left. Go find it on the other side and go opposite. Just like that. So now what you see is we're kind of stacking these, alternating the colors. But if we keep going on the same combination, black will all be on one side and white will be on the other. So we're going to vary right here. We're going to go back to the black and white fleur-de-lis. So we're going loop to the right, tail to the left, find it on the other side and go opposite, or just lay it right on top of your fleur-de-lis. Now we're going to take the gingham and it's going to lay right where a polka dot is. So that means loop to the left, tail to the right, find it on the other side and go opposite. So that we're right here. Okay, now we're going to switch it up again. We're going to put the black right on top of the white, and then we're going to do the same on the other side, just opposite. Okay, and then we're going to take the black and white. That's going to go here. This is going to go over here. This will go here, and this will go here. So you can see we have tails all combined, loops are all left. So to fluff, you're just going to grab the top two and you're going to fluff. Go to the bottom section, do the same thing. Grab the top two, lift, and fluff, which just means round out those loops. We don't want to see them smashed. We don't want them to have a crease. Okay, ignore the tails for now. Decide what you want to see next. Do you want this ribbon to come in between this? Do you want it to be on the outside and have this one come in between? You decide. I kind of like the gingham to be in the center, and then just kind of have this one out to the side, which means over here, same thing. We're going to pull the gingham to the outside, or not gingham, the argyle. We're going to put this one in the center, still ignoring the tails. We're just spreading everything out, and then we're going to bring this one up so it's in between those two, and the polka dots right in between these. Lift and fluff, give them life. I literally just brought those up about 3 inches off the board. And you don't have to go big fluffy bow. If you want to leave it low and tight, you can do that. I like them big and fluffy. That's why we use wired ribbon. Now, to deal with the tails, to put those curls back in, you're just going to run them through your fingers, just like this, and that'll put those nice little curls back in them, so they'll flow all the way down our wreath, because it's going to kind of go in the same shape our wreath is. It's hard to see the very bottom ones because we're laying it on a flat board, but this is where having a really nice board can be advantageous to you, that this way you could technically showcase and sell your bows because you have a gorgeous board. It looks like a counter to showcase that bow on. So that is how you make the bow. Okay, we're zooming back out. I'm going to take this off. Trying to find which way I went. There we go. Pop that off. And all this is just a 24 by 24 by 1 inch thick piece of lumber. All I did is add 4 pieces of 6-inch peel and stick floor tile to this to show you it's just a piece of wood on the other side. So, but it looks really nice when you do your ribbons on it. So let's prep our sign. We're going to cut the burlap twine off. We're going to remove our stickers. There we go. Just being careful not to dig into that MDF. Okay, let's get this one. My husband was so nice, he put on a new blade, but I'm like super scared because it's so sharp now. It will literally pull up things I don't want it to pull up. There we go. Okay, so because this is a 1/4 inch thick, I'm going to use a staple gun with 1/4 inch staples and pipe cleaners. So just like this, I'm going to attach my sign from the corner right here in the center. Oops, we need to add a business card. Almost forgot that. Okay, business card. Just so your customers know, who did I order that from? Where was that person I ordered that wreath from? This helps so they don't have to hold on to the business card, because we know that business cards get lost. So I just made it super simple. QR code. Just snap a picture of it. It takes you right to the website. So we're going to staple one on each side. I always like to do a little twist and a little bit extra glue because it never hurts, just to make sure it stays perfectly right where I want it. And we're going to do this one right here. I have all these glue pieces because they've all been right next to my pipe cleaners. Right on top, just like that. Nice little twist. just so that I can't pull the pipe cleaners through. Like, pull them completely out and underneath that. Okay, time to put it all together. Oops. Alrighty, let's put our sign in. So we are going to put our bow up here, is where that's going to be. So I want to kind of bring it just slightly over here. So what that means is I'm going to pull my ribbon loops forward on this side. And remember those pipe cleaners we put in the center? We're going to kind of use those to line up where we want to place our sign. So I want this going above and below one of my frames. I'm going to pull my deco mesh forward. This is going to come, trying to grab the other one, so I have equal amounts coming down. I'm going to move this over and press down. So I've got it at the depth I want. Give it a couple twists. Same thing. Pull all these forward. We are going to take this right down to the frame and make sure that we've got a pipe cleaner on each side. Okay, and I'm going to push that one down. Make sure my sign is level. Right here, because this is where our bow is going to go, I want to make sure that our deco mesh goes back underneath, because then this way it's not going to poof up, like allow our ribbon to sit way up here instead of down and below. I call it a bow home. So we're just making a home for our bow, basically. So bringing those forward. Now, the way that we have designed our bow allows me to know exactly where my tails are going to fall. So I'm going to have that one just graze the top right about here. So I need to work my pipe cleaner down through all the layers. And it will always get stuck, guaranteed, on one little thread. Like that one got stuck on a black string that was going through my deco mesh. Okay, I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to push this down so I know how far down I can pull my bow without collapsing it. And then we are going to frame our sign and then bring all of our ribbons back in alignment with everything else. Kind of have those wherever you want them to brush. It's going to be entirely up to you. I think I'm going to bring this fleur-de-lis over here. This one feels like it's a little too long because it shouldn't be surpassing our fleur-de-lis. Nice, pretty, beautiful bow. And if you have where your bow just is like sitting up kind of high, you might find, if I lift this up, it's a piece of deco mesh that's keeping my loop from laying closer here. So all I'm going to do is take my deco mesh, tuck it underneath my board. So now my bow can lay where I want it to lay. And I don't have to worry about floating. I just call that, like when it sits up here and it's floating on the ribbon tails or on the deco mesh. And then these, I'm just going to bring the edge of my deco mesh just out and about right here. I'm going to pull some of these and make sure we have nice little curlicues, little I call it feathering the edge. It takes away these harsh lines and brings these back up just like that. So we have nice little ripples around our sign with our ribbons. Doing it here, and I'm going to grab this. Same thing. I'm going to do it down here at the bottom. It likes to get caught on my ribbon. And then I'm lining up my loops back where they need to go. And everything is just about where it needs to be. I don't know where that came from. Yes, I do. It came from that ribbon tail I cut down. So I'm making sure everything is level, everything is where it needs to be, and that is your final design that I come up with. Let's grab this, and we'll just make sure that sits nice and pretty. So that we have this one. Kind of curly. What do you guys think? That's what it looks like here. Let's put it up on the door so we can see it on the door. It always looks different when you're looking at things flat versus the way we have designed them. Okay, so couple things. So don't scoot out just yet. Let me show you the wreath that we're giving away this Friday to reward to one Lucky Rewards member. So here is this design. Make sure I have it hung where it needs to be. Fix all your ribbon tails so that all those ribbons that you have utilized are all facing outward. All the tips are outward. You don't have anything like glue threads. Everything is laid out perfectly the way that you want those to present. So just like that. I like that fleur-de-lis pattern to kind of be present. And then even up here, you want to make sure that the ribbon tails that we've had, trying to make sure it's on the right hook. Sometimes it sits on the very end and then it wobbles. Okay, so there's that one. Let me show you. So this is the wreath that we are giving away to one lucky member of our Wreath of the Month, not Wreath of the Month, the rewards group. So somebody's going to win this, literally, and I kid you not, for $5. It's going to ship right to their front door. So this is a 26-inch, and this one's called Where the Treetops Glisten. It's done in my favorite color this year with cedar, really nice snow-covered ribbon. So this is a new color palette for me. So if you're interested, go to the website. Second link down is the rewards group. Now, when you sign up and you pay your $5, it can just keep going. Next month, there'll be a whole new different design. We always give away a wreath. You always get the video tutorial and all the SKU and item numbers that if you didn't win it, you can still order everything and follow the tutorial to make one of your own. So once you sign up and you pay, make sure you check your email because you're going to get a link to get into the rewards group so that on Friday at noon Pacific, which is 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern time, we're doing the giveaways. So everybody's name goes in the giveaway, and this is the opportunity that you have to win this. So that's all I have to say there. Do you guys have any questions that I can see? I'm reading your comment, Joan. She said, awesome NUFC fan wreath. Newcastle Unites Football Club, awesome wreath. You would prefer reds and whites for Sunderland AFC. You never know. you might just have one coming your way. So I hope you guys like this tutorial. It was super fun to make. Make sure if you're a wreath maker, don't neglect the fact that you have customers that are probably going to be looking for everyday designs, pet lovers wreaths, military wreaths. Make sure that you've answered their request so that come this weekend, they can go ahead and shop your store. So remember, if you're interested, shop my website. Don't go to the Etsy store. You'll get a better, deeper discount. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a blessed Thanksgiving and hope you have a great long holiday weekend. Bye for now, everyone.